What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting edition of Late Night Reds. I'm Skylar Webker. He's Ben Brown. And we have been snowed in, haven't gone anywhere.
Nope.
And I feel like the Reds feel like they're stuck in the snow as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're definitely snowed in. What they say, stuck in third gear, can't go forward. You know what I mean? Kind of in a little idle there.
Yeah, a lot of little whispers have been going out this week. But before we kind of get into the thick of it, we're right about, 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away from spring training, from pitchers and catchers reporting. And the Reds have announced their non-roster invites. And I don't know if it's anything surprising. I don't think any of the names, I should say, are surprising on their non-roster invite list, but I would say the quantity is not what we've seen in the past couple of years. So there are 6 non-roster invites. I have them up screen here. Connor Burns, Cam Collier, JP Higgins, Junior, I'm going to say is Junior, Marte, Anthony. I mean, some names I really haven't even heard of, but I think the thing that's surprising here is that it's only 6 guys, where a lot of years it was a laundry list of names being invited.
Yeah, it does seem a little odd to me that their list is so it's so small. Like usually, like you said, the non-roster invites. Like that's a list where it's at least 20 people deep, if not, you know what I mean? They're just trying to get a look at everybody. So I don't know. I don't know why their list is so short. Unless they just got an idea of what they're trying to get done. But it seems like a very, very small amount of people.
Yeah, I think to me this reads, there's not a lot of competition for a lot of spots. Like they have guys that they know are going to play third and shortstop and right field, and like they kind of have guys penciled in where normally they didn't have those guys, or in case of like all those guys came up together. So all of those guys, this young core expelled this list to make it longer. There's not really a young core following. Like the core is here at the major league level.
Yeah. No, I definitely I can see what you're saying with that. As far as having guys set. So I guess that's a good thing. Like it's some stability where you're not having to have to bring in a whole bunch of young guys and shuffle guys around and move guys around. Maybe that's a sign of things to come where we've got that. We've talked about this all off season, but have that developed depth where where guys are going to be, what guys are going to play, which guys are going to be where. And if somebody goes down, you already have the depth there built in to where you don't have to do a whole lot of second guessing. And you've got a guy there that can fill the shoes of whoever may go down. So it tells me that they feel like they have a pretty deep roster, and that they like the guys that they have, and they like the guys that's already on their roster and that they're bringing in, and that these guys here, I think these are probably some of the guys that maybe they feel like could fill some spots. Maybe, I don't know, but I think they feel like they're pretty set on their roster as far as coming into spring training.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right that they're pretty set on their roster, and they, for the first time, and I'm not gonna give Nick Krall too much credit, but they legitimately have like major league depth. The guys that they have and the guys that they signed to minor league deals aren't just like, they're guys that have major league experience. The guys that they signed to major league deals, the guys that they have on this roster, it doesn't seem as much of a like hope and a prayer type of, or like a showcase type of situation where we've traditionally been in spring training. But it's it's interesting. I'm laughing because Josh doesn't seem to like my Cleveland Cavaliers hoodie here. But all good fun. I know they play like crap this year, but still a fan. The next thing I kind of wanted to go about is this, like, it seems like this year there's been a lot of rumor mill around trade possibilities for the Reds. I can't really remember an offseason where there were so many teams connected to getting set or making deals with the Reds. When we go through the list, there was all that noise around Ketel Marte and the Diamondbacks. There's 2 years of noise of Lou Bob and the White Sox. There was a little bit of noise around the Brandon Lau in Tampa. And kind of coming out now is another article from New York writers saying that the Yankees should trade Jasson Dominguez for pitching depth that the Reds have. And I want to get your take on it because I don't really remember a time where so many beat writers from other teams are writing about making deals with the Reds.
Yeah, well, I think that other teams see that we have a commodity, right? Like we have pitching riches, which a lot of teams don't have, but everybody's looking for. We've got depth in our bullpen. We've got depth with some of the farm guys that will not be pitching on the major league roster, and we've got depth with guys that will be pitching on the major league roster. So I think everybody's looking for guys that can solidify their rotation or guys that can be bullpen guys, and the Reds just happen to have a ton of really good ones. So it makes sense, and everybody knows that the Reds have a need, right? Everybody knows that the Reds have a need for a bat. Everybody knows that the Reds need somebody in the middle of their order. Everybody knows that the Reds are always looking for outfielders. So, for them, it's like, hey, it makes sense. When you hear these different deals that are going in and all these different people that are talking, that we know the Reds have the depth here, but they also have a need here. And I think that even the beat writers know that the Reds need to make a move, and the move needs to be a bat in the middle of that order. So it's almost the story almost writes itself, right? Like
Sure.
you've got pitching depth and you have a need. So let's try to put some teams together, and that's what writers are doing, right? Like there's got to be things out there that makes sense. So the Yankees are, if anything, they're not short of having people ready to go in that lineup. But what they are short of is pitching. Like that's what's hurt them the last couple of years, getting to where they need to be. So it's one of those things where there's you've got to look at all those different aspects, and there's a lot of teams that are in that same boat. They're a starting pitcher away, or they're a bullpen guy away. And the Reds have all this depth. And that's why we, as Reds fans, get frustrated, right? Like we have a resource that people want, but we also have a need that we can, there's a thing that we have a need for. Let's make something happen. And of course it's got to make dollars and cents and all that other stuff. But it's clearly, like we've always said, when there's smoke, there's fire. So, like, people are seeing that there's things there that could make a move and make things happen.
Yeah, and I have the Baseball Savant page pulled up, but I mean, if Jasson Dominguez is the guy that, in the article it outlined Jasson Dominguez and for they outlined Graham Ashcraft. I think it probably takes Graham Ashcraft and some. So, but I mean, if you're getting just a league average hitter from last year, a guy that has less career at bats than they gave Gavin Lux this last season. So I'm fine taking this on. I don't know if it quantifies being like the move, but
Right.
I would love to have a Jasson Dominguez who is an above average base runner with 23 stolen bases this past year, 10 home runs. You obviously know they're going to get more here in Great American Ballpark. Switch hitter, outfielder. Really, I mean, not a fielder at all. This is a guy that's definitely a hitter. But hey, I would love a Jasson Dominguez, and I would part ways with one or two arms in that system to get a guy like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think that that's the thing that we see all the time is that we can afford to make that kind of move because of the depth. So, when you talk about moving a guy like Graham Ashcraft, which Graham Ashcraft is a solid piece for us, but what we get in return is far greater because it doesn't hurt our depth. Like we still have a ton of pitching depth, um, and it makes us better in the long run to bring on a guy like Jasson Dominguez because he's an out. Now he's not a great outfielder, but he's an outfielder. He's a guy that you can put in that lineup, and he's going to, like you said, he's going to perform better in Great American Ballpark than he does in Yankee Stadium, or wherever he's going to be. But I think with the more at bats he gets, the better he would be. And I think that I would definitely be okay with taking a shot at him and making that move and making that happen.
Yeah, Jesse puts in here that maybe Singer for Dominguez. I think it probably is going to take more players with more control, just because the Reds have a lot of control over Graham Ashcraft, and same with Dominguez. For Singer, you're only going to get him for this year unless you extend him. But I agree that like this would be a move that would make sense for the Reds. You get a bat, you get a guy that can play outfield if you need him to. You're not just throwing Gavin Lux out in left field. Like you have somebody that's actually an outfielder. I also love the switch hitter. I know I'm a sucker for it, but with him being a switch hitter, you can put him in every single day. You don't have to worry about left-right matchup. You don't have to worry about anything like that. So you have a switch hitting, let's just put him at DH, a switch hitting DH who, sure, last year was literally a league average fielder or batter, 52 percentile as a league average batter, but a really good runner. I mean, he's 84th percentile in sprint speed. It's actually 92nd percentile in arm strength, and then gets on walks at a good clip with the 68th percentile, has an 80th percentile bat speed, an 85th percentile hard hit rate, 63 percentile exit velo. Some of these other pieces definitely need to be worked on. Chase with those are things that obviously the Reds are doing with Ellie and all the other people all the other young studs that they have. So I think this would be a move that would fit in line with what you're doing with everybody else.
Yeah, it does. And that's a really good point. It does fit right with what you've been doing all year in the off season. That is adding guys that can help you develop depth, adding guys that can get on base and move, that can steal bases, that can make things happen. You just can't underestimate getting more quality at bats. So the more quality at bats you get, the better you're going to be, especially if he's a switch hitter. He's going to get the opportunity to play a lot. So I think with those opportunities, I think that he'll be better. And we always talk about the advantage of playing in Great American. Like it is an advantage to play there, half of your games because it's such a smaller park than anything else. But the main thing about Dominguez is that he almost, it feels like he is a Tito guy, right? Like a guy that can steal bases, can make things happen on the base pads, can play small ball, can do all those things that he's trying to get done on a day in, day out basis. I think he kind of fits what we do.
You put that together, and yes, it fits what we're trying to do, but can't you just see Jasson Dominguez becoming like, but underneath Tito, like Tito's Reds version of like
Mhm,
Jose Ramirez or something? Like, couldn't you just see that like
mhm.
slotting in perfectly? Like, it just feels like there's something there. Whether the Reds make this, whether the
Yeah.
Yankees make this, I think the Reds would love to make this. Whether the Yankees choose to do this is another story. But I do find it just interesting that all these other beat writers are seeing the surplus that the Reds have, the needs that the Reds have, and want to make a deal with Cincinnati.
Yeah. And I think that's the cool part about this is that um it's the Reds' relevancy. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's there. Everybody sees that they're right there, right? Like you're never going to be able to make the moves. You're never going to be able to moves that the Dodgers make. You're never going to be able to make the moves that all these big market teams. But you can make moves that make sense to make you a better baseball team. And I think that people saw that last year with the guys that we were playing, and I think that there are things there that get other beat writers excited because it's like they're there. They just need to go ahead and pull the trigger on a few moves, and they're going to be right there. And I mean, that's just where I think that's where we are as a franchise. Like we just got to go ahead and pull the trigger and make some moves and put ourselves in the position to be competitive.
Well, you kind of put the lead out there because a lot of people agree, and even Nick Kroll agrees that they're a few moves away. But this is coming from the Athletic. The Reds have been in contact with Eugenio Suarez's team and uh, Austin Hayes' team, but they're kind of forced to wait because of needing a new deal with FanDuel Sports Network slash Main Street Sports slash whatever. They need to get a resolution on their TV rights before they're basically allowed to make another move. Is what the article read. Um,
Mhm.
I don't like that. That's the situation. I mean, yes, I'm going to say Bob is one of the most broke owners out there, but you're getting a TV deal. Like, whether it's from this Main Street Sports or it gets produced by MLB, Major League Baseball, you're getting a deal. So why do you got to wait? Why do you got to wait for that to iron out?
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like that part to me sounds a little sketchy. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows the TV money's coming. Like let's not act like we don't know that at some point you're going to have a deal in place.
Mhm.
So let's not put that out there like, oh well, we're waiting for the TV. Like that. It just can't. It sounds like shaky business. You know what I mean? Like you know that money's going to be there, and you know that at some point you're going to have a TV contract. You're not going to go into a major league baseball season without a TV contract. Like let's get that out of the way. Like let's not make that a hindrance. Um, I think that they're almost using that as a crutch. Like everybody wants them to kind of make a move and do the things that they need to do, and this is kind of giving them that out of, oh well, hold on, we got to make sure the money's coming in first. Like that's not suitable nor reasonable for people that understand that, hey, the money's going to come, the TV deal is going to come, we need to move now. you know, y- y- we've talked about Suarez a billion times and how well he would fit and with what we need. Um, I just, I always when they say stuff like that and they put things out like that, like it just makes me feel like they're just trying to play the game. Um, of not they like they're almost trying not to play the victim by playing the victim. Like it's really it's really weird. Like I like like you bring up a great point. Like the money's coming. Like what do we don't tell me that you're like, oh, we're afraid a TV deal won't get made. Like you're a Major League Baseball team. There's no way in the world that you're not going to have a TV deal.
Yeah, and even if it's not a regional network, MLB will do it and produce it.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is that NBA teams are facing this also, but you don't hear it. You don't hear MLB teams, well, we can't do anything because we don't know anything about our TV deals or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it only the Reds? You don't even hear other teams saying that. Why is it only the Reds that have this issue? It's like 9 other teams that are in this same position. You only hear the Reds kind of using this as a crutch or an excuse. You don't hear the Cavs saying it. You don't hear the Pacers saying it. You don't hear, anybody else saying it. You don't hear the Blue Jackets saying it because they're also on the FanDuel, whatever. Like you don't hear hockey teams using it as an excuse. Why is it only the Reds using this as an excuse or as a preventative from making their team better?
Yeah. And I think that's the thing where it aggravates you because it is only the Reds. Like everybody else is in this same spot. Well, nine of the teams are in this same spot, but it's almost like they found a way. They found a way to have an excuse for not making the move. Like, and to put it out there like that. Like there's no other team that would put that out there like that. The way that they put that out there. Like, so you're telling me it's contingent that you're contingent on a TV deal? Like there's no other team out there that would say something like that when you're talking about trying to sign somebody. It just doesn't make any sense. Like that's just not good business in general. Like it makes you sound like all your other business aspects are ran so poorly that if you don't have this TV deal, like you can't do nothing. Like it makes you feel like you're the most poorly ran organization in Major League Sports when you say something like that you are with. Now, other teams may be poorly ran, but they ain't putting that out there. They're just like, hey, we'll figure it out. But, it's almost like they're throwing that out there just to protect themselves in case something doesn't happen.
Yeah, and look, I know that if the MLB produces it, it's a little less it'll be a little bit of a less payout, but I said it a couple weeks back, but Trevor May, who former pitcher, is kind of an online presence now, and he put it out there like perfectly. Like that's what MLB wants to take the broadcasting of all of the teams, so then they can do package deals or anything like the NFL. The NFL controls this broadcasting for all of their teams, and then they distribute to CBS, Fox, wherever. That's what Major League Baseball wants to mimic and follow. So yeah, you'll probably have a smaller deal immediately, but that there's obviously a roadmap and a game plan into that being probably more lucrative than your regional network deals that all these teams are kind of scrapping for now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the long run, it'll be better, and it's better for everybody involved, because you said, it's the marketability of being able to do packages for people that don't live in the area, right? Like people who want to follow the Reds in Arizona or whatever the case may be, to be able to put those packages together. Like you won't see that in the beginning, but down the line you'll start to see that return on investment. And MLB is smart for trying to want to do that because that's how you generate way more revenue than you would with these guys with these individual like Fox Sports or or FanDuel Sports or whatever the case may be. Once they're able to put it into a grand aspect and try to market it all together, that's where your revenue will start to come.
Yeah, and then obviously you kind of wipe out blackouts, which has always been the biggest like pain for any baseball fan, is like, especially as you cut cable or even if you switch cable companies, that then they don't have that, and then it's like, oh, so I just don't get to watch the Reds. And Josh puts in here, that's why the deal is a 3-year deal, because MLB is trying to get everybody under the one umbrella here by 2029, which is smart. And I think it'll eliminate the blackouts. It eliminates everything. You kind of saw WWE do the same thing. They had regional TV rights and cable rights, and they took all of the broadcasting back, and now they're able to dictate, okay, Netflix can have this and Peacock can have this. And that's why MLB is trying to get under that model. So yes, you won't see the immediate return on value, or maybe the year in turn on value, but I mean, Scott puts in a great up here. This team made $325 million in revenue last year, and I'm sure that's not even counting the playoff revenue. That's not counting the tax sharing revenue. That's probably a lot more things to go on top of that. I would be shocked if they didn't make $500,000 last year, or $500 million last year. They can afford to give Eugenio Suarez a two-year, $40 million contract.
Yeah. And that's why it always is like crazy to me when people talk about money and franchises. Like, I'm just not a big believer in like, I can only spend this much. Like, I just don't believe that. Like, I don't believe they're like, oh, well, we only have 130 million to spend on. Like, I just don't believe that. I feel like that's a choice. Like, granted, you can't go out spending $1 billion on stuff and things like that. I get that. But this is a team a month ago that was willing to give Kyle Schwarber a huge contract. So now you can't tell me that you don't want to go above this, and I can't spend this, or we can't. Like, the money's there. Like, you can't tell me it's not there. You put the money out there now, you can't take it back. Like, you can't say that you don't have it now. So for whatever, you know what I mean? Like, for whatever Suarez is wanting to, 2 years, 40 million, 2 years, 45. I don't know. But you can't tell me that you don't have it when you're willing to go 30 million plus for Schwarber, and now all of a sudden now I don't have the money. Like no, that's not how this works. Like, you can't show us what you got and then be like, oh, now I'm going to fold. Like, why are you folding? Like, there's no need to fold. Like, you got 2 aces in your pocket. What are you folding for?
The Reds are a terrible poker playing team.
Yeah, they're terrible. Like, you already showed us what you got. So, I think that when teams say, well, not when teams, when the Reds say, oh, well, we only want to go this is what we're like, I just don't believe it, because I always feel like there's some revenue. If you really want it, you can go get it. And you ain't going to break the bank. You're never going to break the bank, because I think we've mentioned this a million times. If you bring back a guy like Suarez, it's going to generate funds. People are going to come to the ballpark. People are going to buy his jerseys. People are going to want to go do stuff, and because now they know that he's in the middle of that lineup. He loves Cincinnati. Cincinnati loves him. You're going to get that money back in spades. So don't sit here and act like, oh, well, we got to pull the purse strings because we can't spend money. Like, I just don't believe that. And I get it. There's salary caps and all kinds of things, and you're trying to stay in a budget, but there's not a business alive that's never not came close to going over their budget or gone over the budget and figured out on the back end, how do we correct it, because the move I made is going to make our business better in the long run.
Yeah, I think they talk about, oh, we do this, we do that, and they always use this word, we invest. Investing means spending the money in the hopes that it pays out later. An investment is always a gamble, and the Reds say they invest, say they do stuff, and they do, to their credit. I mean, the stadium's incredible. Their community programs are incredible. Their development system's never been better. They are investing in stuff, but like an invest is it's not a guarantee. It is the spending the money and with the intentions that it will work out on the back end or on the whatever it is. And I think Eugenio Suarez is a safe investment, but it's just ridiculous that this team has a terrible poker face because they're leaking to the media that they have to wait on a TV deal. They leaked to the fans that they were going to spend $150 million on Kyle Schwarber. So now they're just like, they just wove themselves a web of lies that they can't like keep.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the thing that's frustrating is that you put out there that you're going to do this and you're going to try to invest in making this team better and building this roster to get over the hump of where you were last year. And then you showed your cards. Like you showed that, hey, we're willing to go get a guy like Kyle Schwarber if we can make it happen. So what's the difference now that and it's going to be less money. Like you're going to spend less money on trying to bring in Suarez than you would, trying to bring in Schwarber. So like you're still within your means of being able to operate within the confines of what you want to do. So why hold back and be like, well, now we're waiting on TV money or we're doing this or that? Like it's like like you said, you're spinning a web and you don't even know what you're catching. You're just catching all kinds of stuff in this web and you don't even know what you're spinning. And I think as fans, we just want honesty, man. Like just be honest, like be real, be honest. Like we know what you have. We know what you're trying to do. Like I always feel like they're trying to be deceptive with their own fan base. Like, why are you being deceptive with us? Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like we are the ones that are spending money to support you. We're the ones that are coming to the stadium. We're the ones that are buying jerseys. We're the ones that are doing all these things and supporting your product. Why are you being weird and secretive with us? Like
because they can't just come out and
make
say
any sense.
we don't care.
Yeah, we want to believe in you. Go do what you need to do to make this thing happen and stop telling us that you can't or that we only got this amount of money. Like I said, every Major League Baseball club or professionals club has money to be able to spend what they want to spend. It's only if they want to do it or how they're going to budget their money or where I'm going to invest my money. So like, don't say that I don't have money to go get a guy or that's bullcrap. Like I don't believe it because every organization has money. It just depends on where you want to spend it.
Yeah, I agree. And the deadline for that's been set for that Main Street Sports deal is by the end of the month. So hopefully by the time we get together next, there is a resolution and we can hopefully get a Eugenio Suarez or maybe even a little better, because during a Q&A session with Brad Meter, I don't know if I've ever actually said his last name. I've only ever read it. But during a Q&A session at Reds Fest, he confirmed two things. One, that they have been in contact with Gino's camp. So now we're getting from the Reds that they've been in contact with Gino, and from The Athletic saying that they've been in contact with Gino. So where there's smoke, there's fire. So it's hope that continues. But kind of was also asked a follow-up question on it. It's if they've been in contact with the Dodgers after they signed Kyle Tucker, particularly around Teoscar Hernandez. So, and he confirmed that they've made some calls to the Dodgers about Teoscar Hernandez. So they're trying to do some things. I commend them on that. The public, web of lies is crazy, but I definitely think like there's some validity to this Eugenio Suarez connections.
Yeah. Um, I, I think there is. I mean, I do believe that they're trying to make something happen. Um, and I do believe that they've got some feelers out somewhere. I just always feel like there's something there that's like holding them back because they don't want to get screwed on a deal. Like they don't want to get caught on the bad end of a deal. So everything almost has to line up like I feel like sometimes teams make moves. A lot of times they'll make moves that may not be the best move at the point in general, but in the long run, it's going to be a good move. But I feel like the Reds, I feel like the Reds, when they get to that point, like if it don't make sense now, they just ain't going to do it. Like they just,
Mm.
oh no, 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 we'll just back away from it. We're just going to not touch it. So I do believe there's definitely talk about in both camps. I mean, I think the Teoscar Hernandez camp and the Suarez camp. I think there's talks in both. Um, but I just don't know. I just don't know how well the Reds like I don't know how they handle those type of situations because there has to be a lot of flexibility and there has to be some give and I don't know how well they deal in the either one of those types of situations. My hope is that there, like you said, if there's smoke, there's fire. So I'm hoping that with what's going on, that there's some validity to these situations, and they can make something happen. Because either one of those guys would be a great get.
Yeah, and personally, maybe I'm a little more like yay Gino, but like what you're gonna get out of Eugenio Suarez because he's spent
Hmm.
7 years with you guys. Like
Hmm.
know what you're gonna get from him. Um, so there's a lot more familiarity in there, and ever since you traded him away, he's done nothing but be in the playoffs, if not the World
Hmm.
Series. That's all he has done since you've traded him away. So you're bringing in a guy with the playoff experience and knowledge and everything like that. Um, and I know a lot of people are, I would say, I don't want to say ho hum about it, but oh well, or worried that he's going to block Steer or Sal Stewart or uh, Key Brian Hayes because those are kind of guys that the Reds see as long term fits. And my response would be, that's a good problem to have. You have too many good bats. Like that is the good
Hmm.
problem to have, and a problem the Reds haven't had in a very long time.
No, yeah, for sure. My question to you is like, we can put this out to the universe as well. But oh, if they're talking to his camp, what do you think those talks are about? Like, what do
Probably
you
money
think
in years.
they're okay?
I would say money in years. I think the current like value of Eugenio Suarez is right about like $16 million, according to Spotrac.
Hmm.
I'm sure that they're probably sitting around that number, but with Eugenio Suarez, this will be his age 33 season. He might want more years. He
Hmm.
might not want to be back on the market, cash in while he has a hot market. But and then it's just up to the Reds. Can you make the money work? I know that they probably don't want to go as long because he could just absolutely fall off a cliff like we saw the year that he had that pool accident and had to get shoulder surgery. Um,
Hmm.
but I think the wear and tear is going to be a little less if he's just your DH. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of nuances in that, but I think those are the two probably sticking points. They're years and money.
Yeah. Do you think it's an issue of you think he wants to play more third base? Or do you think he's ready to just be like DH? I'm ready to swing for the fences and just do what DHs do. You know what I mean?
I don't think Eugenio Suarez cares where he plays as long as he's in the
Yeah.
lineup. Yeah, we saw him try to play shortstop. It was horrible, but we saw him try
Oh,
and do it. So
oof.
I think he's such a good clubhouse and guy, and really a just put me in the lineup. I don't care if I'm at third.
Mhm.
I don't care if I'm DH. I do not care. I
Yeah.
don't think a position is a part of the equation. I think it's just the years and money.
Okay.
Because yeah, Gino
Yeah.
Suarez.
So I just I mean, I know there's a lot that goes into it. And I know there's a ton of metrics and all these different things that go into it. But I just if a guy like that is out there who has already played in your city, has had success in your city, went away from your city, still had success, played in the playoffs, was a big bat, hit lots of home runs, and now has the opportunity to come back. Um, I just like to me, it just feels like it's too good to be true. And I know and I get it. I'm sure it's years and money and things like that, but I just don't understand. I guess on the Reds end, like why are we waiting? Like you this I mean I feel like Gino would want to be back in Cincinnati, and I feel like he would be a good fit for what we need.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like what's the hold up on like making that happen? And I get it. Like the money's got to be right, the years got to be right, but like I everybody like you said, everybody in the media is saying that that he's a good fit. Everybody, the beat writers and everybody in different, regions are saying, hey, this is the guy they need to go get, blah, blah, blah. But like, nothing's happening. Like, I guess I have a struggle with why we're not making this work.
I think so. I pulled it up. He'd be 34 at the start of the season, hit 35 some point in the season. So I think it's definitely they don't want to commit the money in years to a guy
Mhm.
that's will be 35 this year. So after they've already done it for Moose and they did it for Jamer Candelario, they
Yeah.
don't want to do that for a third time in a row. I get it. I do, like I said, we said before, like he's played here before. Like he was an all-star for you guys before. So
Mhm.
there is some familiarity and you know what you're getting and everything like that. I think that's probably it. And then just them, the Reds being able to afford it, apparently, because of they don't know how to play poker. But and what type of message does this send to Gino? Like, hey, we want you. We don't know if we can afford you because we don't know what our TV thing is yet. Like,
Right, right.
why would you put stuff like this out there? It just looks bad to other free agents looking at you.
Hey, listen, we've always said the PR department with the Reds ain't the greatest. Like they've done some really, really just bad bonehead things. Um, and I get it. I'll call it the Candelario clause. Makes you a little bit leery of spending that money and putting that out there. I understand that. But yeah, I think that the Reds are not very good card players. Um, and I'm hoping that they prove me wrong, and make something happen.
Yeah, I agree. And whether it's a big trade like Jasson Dominguez, would love that deal. Whether it's getting a Eugenio Suarez, would love that deal. That
Hmm.
they know that they need something. They've outlined it at Reds Fest. They've outlined it to their beat writers. Everybody knows that the Reds are trying to finish this offseason. Right now I'd kind of grade their offseason as a C because it's
Hmm.
just an average offseason. But if you get
Hmm.
that piece that you're missing for your offense that was horrible last year, on top of the excellent pitching that you have, I think you easily swing that C into a B plus, maybe an A minus, depending on
Hmm.
what the move is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a it can make or break your offseason. I mean, this move or whatever move you decide to make. I think that what you have, with how well you handled the bullpen situation, which I got to give credit, they did an amazing job with handling the bullpen situation because they knew they needed arms, they knew they needed lefties, and they went out and did exactly what they needed to do. How well handled that the complete the other, they bring a bat in to this lineup. So I mean, it's a I'm hoping that I'm hoping that there's still another ace there's even to figure something out and make something that can be made. And they've, like we've said, they've got pieces that people need for them to be competitive. So they need to use those pieces and make something happen.
Yep, I agree. So with that, we can go ahead and wrap up out of here. Please use our code Riverfront to get $20 off your first purchase through SeatGeek. That can be for Reds games, Bengals games, anything it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Just use our code Riverfront to get $20 off your first purchase through SeatGeek. Join our ever-growing Cincinnati sports fandom and support the show through Patreon. That's patreon.com/RiverfrontCincy. Any pricing tier gets you access to our Slack channel. Ben's there, I'm there, Seth's there. We're all there, chatting it up, having a good time. You'll probably see the breaking news in there before you see it online because everybody's posting in there. Give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch not only the latest episodes from our show, but also the Riverfront Red Show and Welcome to the Jungle. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Riverfront Cincy. And please subscribe to the audio version of this show. We're on all the audio platforms. Give us the likes, ratings, and reviews. Be a friend, tell a friend. We're just Cincinnati sports fans trying to put on a good show for other Cincinnati sports fans. So for Ben Brown, I'm Skylar Wepker. We'll get up out of here. And as always, go Reds.
Go Reds.